Hey everyone, today I'm working on an '02 Chevy Suburban. I'm changing out the ignition key. The key won't turn at all, left or right. It was just harder, it was sticking more and more, and then finally it just quit turning altogether. So I got a new tumbler that I do have to repin, take off the covers. But once you get that off, then you'll need to work on getting the ignition out. Now, it's really easy to replace it if you can turn the key, because you just turn it forward and then put a little pin, push down the lock for it, which is right there in that hole, and then turn the ignition over and pull it out and put the new one back in. That's pretty easy. But whenever the key doesn't turn at all, then you got to worry about taking it out. Now, there's a couple different methods that you can use. Okay, so normally what I do is whenever I can't get the key to turn at all, usually I can get it to turn by popping it with a screwdriver, and you just pop the head of it. So if you watch, I'll put some pressure on there, and it's going to be kind of hard for me to show you, but I'll be pushing on the ignition forward and just kind of wiggling a little bit of time while I'm hitting the key inward. And it might take quite a bit of pressure. You can move the key up and down and just see if you can get it to unlock the way that it is. Okay, you see that? Okay, the key was locked, but I was tapping it in and finally got it to turn. So now you'll push the pin through the top. Make sure, since I already didn't tell you to disconnect the battery before you do this, but you'll turn it and there'll be a spot in there where you'll feel the pin drop down in just slightly, and then you'll push it in and you'll feel it kind of spring loaded, and then you kind of push it and work the key out, and you'll see this key start coming out, and voila, you can see the ignition just came out. Okay guys, so whenever you go to replace the ignition lock, now this one's the one that I showed you a minute ago that I pulled out of the vehicle. I have the original key right here, and this is the key I'll be using. The kit that I got to replace this is this one right here. There's part number for the '02 Suburban, but anyway, it comes with the ignition lock cylinder and the all the tumblers. So what you'll do is you'll put the tumblers in order. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see, if you look really close, you see that number 2 right there inside the bag, right where my finger is. You can see that number 2. Okay, and then if you look on this one, you'll see the number 1 in the bag, 3, and then this one's number 4. Can you see that down in there? It's kind of hard to see in the bag, but there's a number 4 on that tumbler right there. So you'll put those out right there. The other bag is the springs with the retainer, and then you have your new lock cylinder. So you'll take your old key out, and then you'll work the lock portion that keeps the tumblers in the old lock. You'll be careful. You want to keep all these in order whenever I go to pop them out. See right there, I've got one side off. Okay, so you can see right down in there. Okay everybody, once you get the cover off from where the tumblers are right here, then you'll need to pop this side off and be really careful. Just pop it out and then take the spring off, and then you'll pop this bar out. So once you pop that bar out, then you'll be able to get to the tumblers. Okay, you can see down in there where the tumblers are down in there, and then they're going to be sliding out from here. So what you'll do is you'll go further down in here and you'll grab onto a tumbler and pick at it and get it to slide out. So once it slides out, you can start seeing it come out right there by my thumb. Okay, be careful, don't let any of the other ones slide out. But you'll take that out and look and see what number is on it. Now, this one is a number 1. You see right there on my finger, between the two little indentures, you can see the number 1 right there. Okay, now that you know that that is a number 1, then you will go to the package, verify it to make sure it says number 1 on there, and you will take the new lock cylinder and slide this into the position that you took that tumbler out of. Okay, so you want to be careful whenever you do this, because this has that upper bar already in there. You're not going to be able to take this out without screwing it up. So once you press that in, it's pretty much going to be in there. It's going to be kind of tough to take that back out if you put it in the wrong slot. So make sure and verify it's got the right number in there, and then go ahead and push it on in, and you'll hear it kind of click. You might not hear it click, but you'll kind of feel it go in. And then we'll go to the next step here in just a minute. Okay, so now I've left some of these up to show you that I've got these new ones pressed in right here, and whenever you get all the correct numbered tumblers in there, then you'll just take a pick or a screwdriver and basically press it in. It'll go down in there and kind of pop in, and then go to the next one. You should be able to tell whenever they're seated and in. Okay, so let's go back through and verify that all of them is seated down and in. Okay, so now you just got all the new tumblers inside of the ignition lock. So now you'll go over here to your bag that has the new springs in it and the new retainer. Be really careful because these springs will go all over the place. Okay, now I'm going to pour out the bag with the springs. Again, be really careful so that the springs stay whenever you bring them out, because they will fly all over the place. So you'll take a spring and give each tumbler its own spring. Okay, here you can see where I've got all the new springs in, and luckily the package that came with the new tumbler had some extra springs in it, so I had plenty of springs. I did have a couple fly off on it. So whenever you go to put the retainer on, make sure everything's lined up, and you'll basically just set it on top. Make sure all the springs stay flush on the inside, and then you will just gradually push the whole section in until it gets flush with the ignition lock. So just make sure everything is nice and straight underneath there, and that no springs are to the side, and then you will push the retainer all the way down and make sure it's seated all the way and it's locked in. And looks like that one is. Yeah, I felt it kind of felt it give just a little bit. So okay, so now that's a new cylinder. That's all put together now. Now after you've put this all back together, you can see right here that this is the lock section right here that keeps the ignition lock from spinning whenever there's no key in there. So you'll install the original key again, and let's see if I can get a close-up picture of it. Whenever I push the key in, you should be able to see that bar lock. Okay, now did you see it just drop? I pull the key back out and you can see that bar come up. So that bar right there is what keeps the ignition lock cylinder from working properly and locking with and without the key. So as long as that is going up and down whenever you push that key in, then you know that you keyed all of the tumblers correctly with the correct numbers, and you successfully rekeyed a new ignition lock with your original key. So now, since that part's done, you'll go back to the truck and reinstall it. So now you're ready to put the lock cylinder back in the truck. Whenever you get it lined up, you'll slide it in like this, and there you go, the ignition is now back in. Now it turns properly and everything works. That's how you change out the ignition, or the tumbler and the key, and still use your original key. That way you have your original key for your doors and don't have to rekey anything. You just basically re-registered the new ignition lock with your original keys. So after that, all you do is just put everything back together as far as the covers and mount everything down, and you should be good to go. But anyway guys, I hope my video helped you out today. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. I guess I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.